Hello. Hello, my. What the heck was that? Hello, my lovely toads, and welcome to the makeup stream for me. You see, I didn't stream last Friday, partially because my anxiety for this project is kind of going out off the rails. I think in order to lower my anxiety, first of all, I had forgot to showcase the overall rankings last time. I also categorized all of the songs into these lists so that it's easier for me to drag and drop them. But I feel like there may need to be some reordering because I do think that certain. I think that I ranked certain tracks too high and certain ones too low. But I'm also not entirely sure. Let me just look at this real quick. I mean, no one's even tuned into the stream yet, so, you know. From the looks of it, it looks like the nitro track selection is fine. Though I think I'm gonna bump up Toad's Turnpike. Actually, maybe not. Okay. And then for... I think it was mainly the retro music. I think I was way too generous to Thwomp Ruins. And because of that, I ended up being unfair to other songs. I also, as much as I like Royal Raceway, I don't think it's an A tier song. I think it's B tier. And because I also was way too harsh on Dry Dry Desert, this one definitely deserves to be ranked way higher than I ranked it. And Shy Guy Falls, I think I could have ranked higher. Okay, I think I'm a lot more proud of this tier list than I was previously. So now I just gotta sort them over here. Okay. There. I think I'm more proud of this list. So with that out of the way, let's get this actual stream started. I mean, this is probably not going to be the best when first tuning in. But yeah. So now that I've got a bit of that reordering done, it's about time I try to actually rank the rest of the retro tracks, which, again, I was going to do last Friday, but I didn't because I'm getting a little nervous that this project isn't turning out as good as it could have. So, let's start with let's just get this started, right? I've already spent enough time rambling. Let's start with Leaf Cup. I've actually noted that Leaf Cup is just generally one of the weaker cups in the Mario Kart series. I'm not sure why this is, but it's just a running trend to me that
seems the same until it's time to use it.
That the Leaf Cup isn't the greatest. Okay, what is going on with my audio? Okay, there we go. I don't know why it did that, but... Okay, now let's get this started with DS Wario Stadium. I said that the Leaf Cup is generally one of the weaker ones, but honestly, the Leaf Cup in this game is pretty solid. And I think that DS Wario Stadium is a really good start to it. Hold on, is the playback speed higher? You know, whatever. Okay, then. Anyway, yeah, I mean, so far there's not really much to talk about. I do like the section in the mud. It can actually be kind of tough to stay on the boost panels. And, you know, that they had, I believe they added these flaming hoops in this version, which makes this part a bit more exciting. Then, you know, drift around these fire bars. That's pretty cool. Oh yeah, they also added that underwater section. I do like that. It makes that one stretch where there's not really much happening seem a bit more interesting. Not much to say, just an overall really solid track. I think I know the perfect tier for a track as solid as this one. I think right here is a good spot for it. It's not groundbreaking or anything, but it's an enjoyable track. What about the music, though? So, one thing that I will say is that I'm not really a huge fan of, like, all of these, like, pitch changes and stuff they added. I I think that it kind of feels a little over-decorated with the addition of these. I mean, I'm not really saying much because, like, what is there to say? It's the Waluigi pinball theme. You already know what tier it's gonna end up going in. Yeah, I think that speaks for itself. It's going it's going under this game's Bowser's Castle just because I feel like the original version was a tad bit better, but it's still pretty dang good. So without okay, I guess we're going on to Ice Circuit or whatever. Yeah, no, I know it's Sherbet Land, but like, you know, the track absolutely everyone was just biting their nails in anticipation for the return of. Everyone was so stoked. Everyone was so annoyed that they didn't return this track until this game. Everyone. Yeah. I will say, though, I do like all of the lights and stuff they added. It does, at the very least, make this track look really good. Especially since it's you know, an ice track. You kind of already know what to expect visually. And this guy doesn't know the underwater section is slower. There we go. Those turns back there were an absolute pain in the Double Dash version, but now with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe's smoother controls, it's a lot easier. This section going underwater actually is quicker because you don't have to go around it. And that's it. That's the track driving right off it into the sunset. I'm not really sure where to rank this one. Honestly, I actually think the middle of C tier is the perfect spot for it. It just doesn't really do anything that gets a strong reaction out of me one way or another. Actually, because of that, I may end up putting it over... Yeah, I think I'm going to put it over Bone Dry Dunes since I like how it looks visually a little bit better. But yeah, it's still not anything worth writing home about. What about the music? Can the music at least lift up my spirits? So yeah, I do really like this tune. It is really pleasant, but god dang it, your Wajax Rules is right. I forgot to change the title again. Okay, thanks for that. I mean, it is a really pleasant tune, I will say. I gotta admit though, re-listening to it, it doesn't really get a very strong reaction out of me. It's just a nice snow theme. I think because of that, I'm gonna put it about here. Honestly, I think I was way too harsh on Mario Kart Stadium, actually. That's another song I should have resorted. So, yeah. Sorry about this. Okay. Oh, because I already ranked this song? Wait, no. Okay. Okay, I'm just being stupid. There. So now... So yeah, that was that track. Now let's move on to... Okay, at the very least, though, things will pick up again, because now we got... Okay, after this ad, things will pick up again. See? Don't you just love fish tacos? Anyway, now. Melody Motorway, or as it's known as in America, Music Park, but... Honestly, this is one of, like, the only cases where I actually prefer the other region names over the one we got. I mean, the visuals are striking, but, like, what do you expect from Mario Kart 8 at this point? You'll already see the gimmick very soon. See, the instruments actually make music when you drive on them, and it fits with the track theme. And you know it's good when even the piranha plants are bopping their heads to it. This section right here can also actually be kind of tough. Like, if you get in a bad spot for that turn, then this happens. That happened to me all the time on the 3DS. Then you can either... Oh, what the... Well, anyway, my favorite section of the track, of course, is the part with the jumping music notes, where if you trick to the beat, then you can get a boost. Or way later, apparently. And that's Music Park, or Melody Motorway. I mean, really, where else could this track go? I think that spot kind of speaks for itself. Actually, yeah, I kind of agree with what Luigi X Roll said about the previous song. I do really like that one part of the song, but it is kind of just that one little part. Anyway, how's the music in Music Park, though? You'd expect it to be an absolute banger, considering the track is all about music, right? One thing that someone pointed out to me is that the trumpets in the background are to the tempo of the music, which it's actually a really cool way to keep the audience into the rhythm of the music. I don't think it's one of the best songs ever or anything, but it's just a decent foot tapper and fits the whole music vibe really well. So, that was definitely one of the best tracks that I've looked at thus far. It definitely has one of the best averages. Though not the best average, that still goes to Bowser's Castle. Now it's time to end it on Yoshi Valley. Yeah, when I said this game's Leaf Cup was better than the usual Leaf Cup, I just meant that there were some pretty heavy hitters in it. I'm not really a fan of Yoshi Valley. Okay, this flickering is not part of the video, that's just my computer being stupid. See, this is the issue. When you know the path that... I don't know why they're not taking the bridge, but anyway. When you know that that's the best path, the entire structure of the track basically means nothing. Like, look at that mini-map. Look at how if you take a right, you have to go all the way up to this cannon that just takes you right back where you would have been if you would have gone left. Also, the bridge is, like, by far the best path to take now, because as you saw, the other turns are just way too tough. Well, not too tough, but, like, you know, they're really tight. Can I use the mushroom shortcut? No. Oh, that was actually a better use of the mushroom. Not used to the video person that I'm watching actually doing smart stuff. Anyway, I think this is probably going to be an unpopular opinion, but I don't really care for Yoshi Valley that much. I think it's a C tier track. Some people are gonna call me a Yoshi hater because I also have another unpopular opinion coming up in the next video. I'm not sure where exactly it ranks, so I think above Bone Dry Dunes, but under Sherbet Land. Yeah, that seems like a decent spot for it. I never really cared much for this track, but what about that music? One thing that I'll definitely say is that the music is definitely much better than it was in the previous retro video. Like, how could you listen to this and not just want to get up and start dancing? Oh, and thank you for keeping the steel drums in. The steel drum section is part of what I think makes this song personally. I mean, I already know that it's going really high on the list. Is it an S tier, though? You know what? I'm gonna be generous. Yeah. Or maybe it doesn't. I'm honestly not sure. I think I'm just gonna put it, like, here for now. Maybe I'll end up changing it in the future. But in the meantime, we've still got a few more tracks. Now that we finished the Leaf Cup, we got the Lightning Cup, and my god, this is one of the best Lightning Cups in the entire series. Actually, no, this is the best Lightning Cup in the series. I mean, the 1 in 7 was pretty good as well, but I felt like it was a series of high highs and low lows, similar to this game's Leaf Cup and this game's Special Cup. Okay, seriously, YouTube. I have to go on a little bit of a rant. Why did you think 2 ads was a good idea? All I want to do is get to the video. It's already annoying enough that you just play an ad whenever the heck you want. But now on top of this, I have to sit through 2 of them. When I said a little bit of a rant, I meant it. But at least my worries are, at the very least, things get a lot better now that we go to DS TikTok Clock. First of all, the one on the DS did not look nearly this striking, but, I mean, just, it's so awesome looking, seeing all these cogs and stuff. It really feels like you're inside of a giant clock. And I love it. I love how all of the hazards are tied to the whole clock theme. You know, those little things under the clock. You have to avoid those or bonk right into them. That works too. Then, of course, there's these spinning pendulum things, which you can either glide over or just stay on. And of course, and there's also these sections with the hands on the clock where if you're lined up perfectly, you can actually take a bit of a risky shortcut. They tie everything to the clock theme so perfectly in this track. Because of this, I'm putting this one in S tier as well. I personally have more of an attachment to Music Park, but TikTok Clock is still a dang good track. It's impressive just how much they were able to get out of their theme. And speaking of theme, how about the music? I really love the echoey sound of this track. It really makes it feel like you're inside of this giant crowded area. And yeah, this is one of the best retro tracks ever made. I think the theme... I don't think the song is as good as the track, though, which I feel like I've been saying that quite a lot this video, actually. But I think it's pretty good. It definitely gets the job done, but it's still not anything I think I'd go out of my way to re-listen to. I think B tier is a good spot for it. I'm streaming. So, I think in between Mario Kart Stadium and Thwomp Ruins is probably a good spot for the song. I do like it, and again, the echoiness is a really cool detail, but it's just not really one of my favorites. As I said, best Lightning Cup in the series. Next up, we have 3DS Piranha Plant Pipeway, or Piranha Plant Slide if you live in America. They destroyed the alliteration. How could they? I mean, you can already see that it has a kind of interesting, like, classic Mario aesthetic with all of the pipes and such. Though, one nitpick, in the 3DS version, these Goombas were blue to better sell the idea that it was based on retro Mario Underground stages. But now they're just regular Goombas, and it's a little underwhelming. Just a tad, though. It's an insane nitpick. And then, yeah, those are some fairly tricky turns. I like those little trick ramps to kind of encourage tricking, but it also would kind of send you careening in a pit if you didn't get at a good enough angle. Speaking of not getting at a good enough angle. Anyway, so yeah, now... I don't know why they didn't take that gusher, but I also don't know why the Piranha Plant didn't chomp them, so I guess... Woohoo! And there's that little shortcut that he's taking even without a mushroom. Yeah, you deserve to get out of first for that. Anyway, not much to say about this one. It's just, it's a really nice retro Mario feeling track. Does it go in the bottom of A or the top of, I definitely think it's better than DK Jungle, since it's at least an original idea. I think right here is a good spot for the track. But what about the music? This is actually one of the few cases where I'd say a Mario Kart 7 song really helps carry a track. This is a case where all the vibratos I actually think really help give it a more cool vibe. Oh god, the way they work in the underground theme from Super Mario Bros. Into it. And of course that backbeat also has a bit of the overworld theme. Just such a great song overall. Does it go above or beneath Yoshi Valley though? I think beneath, but it's still a really good song. It is just plain a bop. So now, how does this end? Next up we got Wii Grumble Volcano. I know some people say that this is a bit of an underwhelming choice. This is actually the first time that we've gotten a lava track before the Retro Rainbow Road. On the 3DS we had Airship Fortress before it, which, to be fair, was also a really great choice. In fact, I will say that I think that the Airship Fortress is a better penultimate track than Grumble Volcano, personally speaking, but it's more so because it's Airship Fortress. Why? I like Chick-fil-A. I don't need... This is literally a shut up and take my body case. Anyway, Grumble Volcano. I gotta be honest though, with how much of a visual glow up a lot of these tracks got, this one kind of just looks about the same as it did on Wii. Not necessarily a problem, since I don't really care about visuals as much as I care about track design, but just something I noted. There's not really much to comment on with the track, since, I mean, the main gimmick is more of an in-between lap thing. You've probably noticed certain parts of the track vibrating. I do like this little branch though, especially later in the track. Now you start to notice something. Or is that only in the third lap? Or maybe it's tied to a timer. Yeah, so still everything's normal. Might as well skip ahead then to the main gimmick. As you can see, part of the track has crumbled off. That is what makes this track so neat. It's the fact that, the fact that it changes when you play. I really love when tracks do that. It has a subtle enough change. Basically, it has a lap to get you used to the track, and then slowly it adds more difficulty to it. That is just a really clever way to make the 3-lap system work. So now that we have done that, I still don't think this track is amazing or anything, but it's definitely a good one. I think it goes over Dolphin Shoals, but under DK Jungle. It's a solid choice, honestly. Especially in those final few moments where the track really starts to crumble. Yeah. What about the music, though? Ooh, they had actually added an echo to it. That's kind of cool. I mean, this beginning part's pretty decent, but it's when we get to here where the track theme really picks up. I mean, the build-up is solid, but it's honestly worth sitting through for that just grand feeling climax to the song. Yeah, here seems like a good spot for it. I gotta say, this game's soundtrack is faring really well. Though, are you really surprised? So, that's that. Okay. Sorry. I didn't get distracted. I was just... I'm not really sure how this is going to turn out by the end. Speaking of end, I gotta admit, this is probably an unpopular opinion, but this is probably one of my... This is my second to least favorite Rainbow... Actually, no. Okay, I gotta be honest, the only Rainbow Roads in this game that I actually had really liked were the ones from the Booster Course Pass. Though, I will say that they did spruce this one up visually a lot. It looks really nice. Which is just a common trend with 8 tracks, but still. I mean, the golden glow on the road gives it this really enchanted feeling. But I will also admit that making this track a really big spectacle does kind of take away a bit of the magic of the original. You know, the original was supposed to be like a nice little relaxing drive. Oh, also, this chain chomp was originally chomping the ground, but now it's bouncing. Cool. Anyway, the original version of this track just kind of gives me the vibes of just like your journey's over and now it's just time to relax. Whereas this track seems to be a lot more like in your face, I guess. That's not inherently a bad thing, but it does kind of feel like this track loses a bit of that original quaint charm that the original had. And if you're wondering why I haven't been commenting on the track itself, it's because that's my biggest criticism with the track. There just hasn't been anything going on this entire time. There's been like, what, those little ring things? Wow. We're really shaking the world. Yeah. Sorry, I know that this is an unpopular opinion, but I don't really care for it. Also, as Luigi X Rules says, it's now too short. I don't necessarily think the problem is that it's too short, as much as it is that nothing really happens. It's basically just a bunch of straight lines with a few boost panels. When you boil it down, that's just all this Rainbow Road is. It's C tier. Over Yoshi Valley, but under Sherbet Land seems like a good spot for this one. Oh wait, no, that's ranking it under this game's Rainbow Road then. Right here. So yeah. Those are my opinions on this Rainbow Road. Some may argue with me because I know that this is a pretty popular rendition of this track, but I don't know, I just don't really care. I just feel like they should have been doing a lot more. How about the music, though? It does fit the new atmosphere of the track really well, I will say. I think the song's pretty good. I think the song's solid, but I think the main reason why N64 Rainbow Road is all the way up in S tier for me is that magical, quaint feeling. For this version, I think it still belongs in S tier, but I feel like it loses a lot of that magic that the original version had. You know? Yeah. I will say that the song is definitely a lot better. I was initially way too harsh on this song for a long period of time just because I prefer the more quaint vibe of the original. It fits the new vibe perfectly. It's just that I'm not really that big on the new vibe, personally speaking. I will say, though, that this is still miles better than the original N64 version since, you know, it's only 1 lap instead of 3, so it doesn't overstay its welcome like that one did. Yeah. So I guess that's the rankings. Now, time for the part that I forgot at the end of the previous video where I had to do the overall rankings. As I mentioned earlier, I created these little sub-tiers so that I could access the tracks a little bit easier. Now let's do this to wrap up the stream. And of course, as per usual, I'm going to be playing some music while I'm doing this part. And by as usual, I mean this is the second time I've ever done this. Hold on a second. Is this game's Bowser's Castle really worthy being over Music Park and TikTok Clock? Yeah, okay, I'm rearranging it like that. Oh wow, not a single new B tier song or track. At certain parts of these rankings, I will admit that sometimes I'm like, was this track really that bad? And then I realize, oh, I'm just thinking of the music. actually. Alright. Hold on. Let me just be sure. Yep, okay, that's all the tracks. So, I guess that means that the stream is over. Tune in later where I'll be ranking all of the DLC tracks, but until then, have the best day.